New York City is one of the most iconic cities in the world and is home to close to 9 million people across 5 very unique boroughs, including the Bronx, Queens, Staten Island, Brooklyn, and of course, Manhattan. Every borough has something different to offer, whether you are a tourist or have been living there your whole life. To start off, we'll begin in the Bronx, which has a population close to 1.5 million. The Bronx is very well known for being home to the world-famous New York Yankees. But when you take a deeper look, there is much more to offer. Despite all of the buildings, the Bronx still has some amazing greenery and houses Pelham Bay Park, which is surprisingly the biggest park in all of New York City and is 3 times the size of the renowned Central Park. On top of that, the Bronx actually has the largest zoo in the entire country, which takes up over 260 acres of land. Switching it up, the Bronx is notorious for its vibrant hip-hop scene, which is different from anywhere else, combining different genres of music, making it into their own trademark sounds. Coming up next, we will move south to Queens. Queens is the largest borough by area in the city, as it is 109 square miles and is home to close to 2.5 million residents. Queens is undoubtedly the most diverse of the 5 boroughs, as more than 100 languages are spoken in the area and nearly half of the residents were actually born overseas. Due to all the cultures, Queens is a melting pot for many kinds of food and culture, creating one of the best street food scenes in the entire world. Besides that, if you're entering New York City via plane, you are likely to end up in Queens, because the 2 major airports, LaGuardia and JFK International Airport, both are located in Queens. Another fun fact about this borough is that the first ever road was reportedly paved in Queens. Moving on over to Staten Island, which is the 3rd largest borough by land, but has the smallest population. The small population compared to the other 4 boroughs could be credited to the fact that there are over 170 parks in all of Staten Island, and takes up about 1/3 of the borough's landmass. Where there isn't a park, Staten Island actually has some of the oldest buildings in all of New York City, and is largely influenced by the strong Italian community in Staten Island, making it a great place to grab some Italian food and enjoy the historic scenery. Up next is Brooklyn, which is the biggest borough with an estimated population of around 2.7 million. To put that into perspective, Brooklyn is larger than Boston, Atlanta, Washington DC, and Minneapolis combined. Brooklyn also has 30 miles of shoreline along with Coney Island, but it is not considered part of Long Island. One of the things Brooklyn is most famous for is the vibrant art and culture scene, as it is home to over 700 art and cultural institutions, and the streets are filled with constant entertainment, whether it be street performers or artists. Taking it back to 1897, when Brooklyn actually was its own city before it merged with New York City in 1898. And in the 1950s, Brooklyn was actually the first place where a credit card was used. Undoubtedly the most famous borough, Manhattan, which is home to everything you think of when you hear New York. Central Park, Empire State Building, Wall Street, Times Square, and many more, all things you can find in Manhattan. But when I put that to the side, Manhattan is very different from the other boroughs, as it is the most densely packed with buildings and people. You can find everything in Manhattan, as it is the cultural, economic, financial, and entertainment capital of New York and the world. Different from other boroughs, each part of Manhattan separates different areas, like the Financial District, Midtown, Upper East Side, Soho, and many more. Each of these areas are known for different things, unlike the other boroughs where they are more looked at as a whole. To finish off, the boroughs are all different and are like 5 different cities all in one, which is what makes New York City so unique to any other city in the world, with all the culture, history, and energy that runs through the streets.